Hello everyone. Have you wondered how to launch a product on Amazon to show up on the first page? Do you have a proper launch strategy whenever you have new products on Amazon? Are there instances where you try to search for your product and you don't find it anywhere in the first 5 to 6 pages? Then you're at the right place. Today we're going to go through a very structured workflow which will help you rank well on Amazon. Welcome to eCom with Gopal. I'm Gopal Kulli, an e-commerce entrepreneur with e-commerce businesses both in US and in India. So I'm currently scaling an e-commerce brand in India, which is one of the fastest growing startups on Amazon India. So this channel is to share my learnings and hopefully will be helpful to some of the other fellow entrepreneurs as they build and scale their e-commerce businesses. So with that, let's get into the topic. So launching a product to page 1 on Amazon, why is it important? So think of the last time you searched for a product on Amazon and how many instances were there where you went past not even page 1, right? When you went past the first 5 to 8 results. Probably not a lot. So at Amazon, there is this joke that if you want to hide a skeleton, the best place is to do it on page 2, right? So the page 2 gets very less page views. So it's going to be very critical to rank on page 1 to have a good organic sales for your product. So with that, let me take you through a structured process that you can follow so that you can rank well on Amazon. And again, there are no shortcuts. It's just doing all the upfront work that will put you in a very good position when you're launching the product. So this is going to be a 3-part series. So the first part today, I'm going to talk about keyword research, right? So whenever you launch a product, you need to know what are the top 5 to 10 keywords that your product is hyper relevant for, right? And I'll help you see how to come up with those keywords. So that's going to be the session for today. And in the next part, we're going to talk about, now that we have the keywords, how do we properly optimize our listing so that we include all of these keywords in the listing so that Amazon algorithm recognizes or looks at our listing and tries to index it. So that's going to be part 2. And then the part 3, probably the most fun one, is how do we launch using Amazon pay-per-click, right? So it's well and good that you launched a product. So how do you get it in front of the customer size? So along with your organic strategy, which is going to be bulk of this 3-part series, you should have a pay-per-click strategy as both of them go together. Okay, so let me just start with a quick case study. So this is a product that we recently launched. So just to keep you grounded, what you're seeing on the x-axis are the dates. So 27th December to 17th January. And what you're seeing on the y-axis is the keyword or organic ranking, right? So if it's 1, it means that for this particular keyword, I'm ranked at number 1, right? So if it's number 10, which means that for that particular keyword, I'm ranked at number 10, right? So vice versa. So generally the first page has around 36 organic listings. Again, it varies by product category. I think products like kitchen appliances have much lower organic results in a page, but most of the other categories it's around 36, right? So if it's above 36, it means that you're not on page 1. So now as you look at this graph, we launched this product on 27th December. So as soon as we launched, we showed up in page 1, right? So then it was bouncing with around like keyword ranking 12. But as you see, there was a lot of variability in the initial days, which is very typical when you do launches. But then after that, it started stabilizing around 8, and currently it's probably around like 4 or 5, right? And also these are not like low volume keywords, right? So I'm going to show little more about Helium 10, which is a Amazon third party software. So it gives you an estimate of search terms. So as you can see, all these search terms are relatively high volume search terms, right? So it's not like super high volume like pet supplements or vitamin A, which probably have like more than 100,000 searches per month. So anything about 10,000, I would say, is medium volume search term, and maybe 1,000 to 5,000 is on the low side, right? So if you see here, this is a keyword with 10,543 search volume, and we are at organic rank number 6. So the next one at number 4, right? So I just wanted to show you that it's definitely possible, but there are no shortcuts or hacks that you can do, right? So all I'm going to talk today is a structured process that I follow and our team follows. And also most of this all the things that you're seeing in this channel are actually, I'm a on the ground operator, so I run the business hands on, so I share the learnings that really work in our business with the community. So as I told earlier, it's a 3-step approach for us to rank well in the search. So first I'm going to talk about keyword research today. The next video is going to be listing optimization, and the last one is going to be on pay-per-click advertising. Know your keywords, right? So whenever you launch a product, you should know like what are the search terms that customers use like to buy this product, right? So how do you know it? So you generally should have a good or a decent sense of like relevant keywords, right? So for example, if it's a laptop, the search terms might be laptop 8 GB, Intel laptop, right? So you know from your intuition and experience some keywords that customers might use or you as a customer might use when searching for a product. But always let's look at data, not intuition. So what I use and you should get very familiar with is brand analytics that is available on Amazon Seller Central. So if you have brand registry, you should see brand analytics in your dashboard. And if you are not using it, that's your tip for the day. Immediately go start doing research on brand analytics, and you'll be fascinated with the amount of insights that you can get from there. So I'm actually going to do a separate video on brand analytics, more like a deep dive. But here I'll just take you through a high level overview of brand analytics as we're going to use the data from that. So the good thing with brand analytics is it's free, right? So Amazon already gives it to you in your Seller Central, and it's not an estimated data like say Helium 10, right? So this is actual data from Amazon. Okay, so with that, let's peek into brand analytics and see what we can glean. So here, so this is what you see when you log in into your Seller Central. Go to brands, and you should see brand analytics here. Okay, so you can actually filter by department, which is category on Amazon. And reporting period is you can look up the data for last week, last month, or last quarter. So I'll just look at last month. Let's see what data it gives. And here it's going to give you all the top searches for the last month, right? So what it's saying here is shoes for men is the most searched keyword on Amazon for the month of January here. So SFR, right? So search frequency rank. Amazon, they don't share the actual search numbers, but they are sharing this index data, right? So laptop is like the second most searched term, smartwatch is the third most, right? So it goes on. but this will give you relatively how much searches you have for a particular keyword. And so this is giving you the search term, and then once a customer searches for this shoes for men, now it's going to tell you what are the top 3 clicked ASINs. Okay, so here this T-Rock sports shoes is the first top clicked ASIN. So it's clicked 4.37%, 4.37% of times, right? So if it means that like out of 100 searches, so 4.37% clicked on that listing, and the conversion share is of that who ended up converting is 4.77%. So it's actually kind of low for the click share for a tops for the number one organic term. But probably one of the issues here might be it's a very generic top of the funnel search, right? Like if it's shoes for men, it's a very generic term. Probably the customer is still more in the research phase. So like say for example, if it were running shoes for men extra large, right, or running shoes for men in blue color, right? So those are like little longer tail keywords which have like higher purchase intent. But shoes for men, probably I would guess it's more like at these customers are at a research phase, and that's why the overall conversion share is also lower. So yeah, so this is the data that you get, and now how do we use this data for our keyword research? So let's assume that the product that I'm thinking to launch is a study table, right? So I just type in study table here, click apply, and now it's going to give me very valuable information. Again, remember this is direct from Amazon on like what are the top keywords for study table that are ranked by Amazon, right? So for example, study table for students, the SFR is 95, which is really good. Just for context, like the way how I look at it is anything from 0 to 1000, you can consider it as a high search term rank, high search term keyword. Anything with probably 1000 to 5000, 7000, you can consider it medium, and after 7000 you can consider it relatively lower. So SFR 95, yeah, it's a super high traffic search term. So this is a keyword, if you are launching study table, like this is a keyword that you should try to rank for, right? And if it's not for students, then that's a different story. But if it's a study table for student, this is a keyword that you should try to rank for, right? So study table for kids, study table for students, big size, right? So you see that there are like a lot of these keywords that are directly coming from Amazon. And actually this category, probably due to COVID, there is just a lot of demand. Otherwise you wouldn't see these many search terms in the top 10,000, right? So and also you can go do product research from here, right? So for example, I click here, and then you can see that let's also research from here if this is a category that is good to enter, right? So the first two are sponsored products. So you see the sponsored tag. So there is a big competitor with 16,000 reviews, but you see here this seller probably is like brand new, no reviews. He's ranking on page 1. So this guy has 154 reviews with 3.6 star. You can probably, if you do a good job, you can outrank this listing, right? So as you scroll through, there are not many winners, right? Like this is 76, except for that first one. Like all the remaining in this page for a very high volume search, I don't see much competition, right? I mean, don't go and launch it now, but as of this recording, this looks to be a niche where due to COVID, it's experiencing a COVID bump. but there seems to be really good keyword search demand, but not enough high or really good products, right? So let's assume I did my product research, I narrowed up on study table as the category that I want to enter. So now I have done that first part, narrowing the product. Now I'm going to identify what are my super relevant keywords from this list. And typically I take any like all the keywords, say till 10,000 SFR, right? So these are your like hyper relevant keywords, and make sure you document those. So yeah, like if you see here, like I documented all of these search terms and the corresponding SFR. So this list is very important, because when we do uh, the session 2 in couple of days, I'm going to use this list, and also this list is going to be very helpful for you when you run ads, right? So this part is very important, identifying the keywords for which your product is relevant. So this to start with, I think you should at least do this, right? I mean, I know like a lot of sellers don't even do this. They just do a guesstimate on what you think a customer might search. So if say for example you are coming up with your intuition, right? I know you can probably come up with study table for students, big size. I don't know if that's something that you can guess immediately, right? So bed table for study, pen stand for study, kid study table with chair. So these are all long tail keywords. I don't think you can like guess them easily unless you know the category very well. So brand analytics helps you in that aspect to find out what keywords customers are searching when buying similar products. So that's part one. And then part two, this is advanced. It's I think it's, I would say, nice to have. So I'm going to use Helium 10's Cerebro tool. So Helium 10 is a third party software that provides a lot of data related to Amazon marketplace. So disclaimer, their overall data for India, I think, needs a lot of improvement. For US, actually, it's pretty good. So India, it needs a lot of improvement. But I'm going to use this Cerebro tool to gather some data. Right. So what Cerebro tool gives you is, if you enter like a list of ASINs, it's going to give you what keywords those set of ASINs were bought, right? So it's going to give you a reverse. It's a reverse ASIN tool, so it's going to give you the keywords if you enter the ASINs, right? So customers are buying or using these keywords to buy these products. Okay, you can actually, if you want to go deeper, you can click on learn and actually there are a lot of videos, but on a high level, that's what Helium 10 does. So again, I'm going to use just the brand analytics data here. So I just copied like the top 5 ASINs, entered that in Helium 10, right? So yeah, enter them in Helium 10, make sure you select Amazon India. And like I typically use search volume of at least 1,000, because otherwise you just have like a lot of noise and it's difficult to filter them through. So and if it's a high volume category, I would even go till 5,000, right? So that way you can come up with a more narrower hyper focused list instead of like a big long list of keywords with lower search volume, right? So I entered 5,000 here. So now if you see, like I filtered by search volume, that's why probably you will see some irrelevant ones. But you should now, like, you can either download it here or like select them and download them. So study table for students, study table, right? I would actually recommend downloading this Excel file, and then by search volume, mark like another 5 to 10 keywords that are actually that customers are using to buy these products, right? So that's my second set, and actually there will be overlap, which is like completely normal, right? So Helium 10 is not exact Amazon data. They just do some estimations and come up with keywords and search volume, but it should be like, for India it should be like 60-70% close. So there will no surprises if there is any overlap, right? So you have this list from Helium 10 now, and now try to filter this list. So this list will give you the top 15, 20 super relevant keywords that we will use for listing optimization and also for PPC later. And few other things that I would do are do like a SWOT analysis of your listings. So this is like phase one is you're actually not doing anything in Seller Central as of now, but you're preparing the groundwork, laying the foundation for you to build your ASIN history on Amazon, right? So I would actually go look at the ASINs, read the reviews, and identify what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are. And if it's actually even better if you do it before you finish the design of your product, you can actually look at the product weaknesses and try to improve them in your product, right? So for example, this ASIN, I think the reviews are saying it's not great quality, then you should actually build a product that much superior in quality, so that will be your USP, right? So you should do this exercise for the top 10 ASINs in the category, identify what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. And this I'm going to use it when you do listing optimization, right? So if there are like a common set of weakness across all of my competitor products, that's going to be my first bullet point, right? So I'm going to address it at the beginning, saying that if somebody is saying, hey, this thing or this food smells, right? Or it doesn't have any taste, so my product, if hopefully it tastes well, so I'm going to start with, you don't have any residual taste, it's going to taste very natural. So I'm going to talk about the weaknesses that my competitors have, right? So that's why as part of this phase one, you should go read all the reviews good, if not at least read the negative reviews, identify why, what is the pain point for your competitor products, then explain through images and through bullet points how your product is going to solve it. So that's know your keywords. And then like as I told, we talked about how to do it from brand analytics, and also an advanced version from Helium 10 Cerebro tool, right? So now that's the end of our phase one. So by this end of phase one keyword research, you should have 10 to 15, not more than 20, right? So if you have like 50, it defeats the purpose of all of this. So have like 10 to 20 super relevant keywords for the product that you are about to launch, and have a good idea of top 5, top 10 competitors for your product, and then do a SWOT analysis to identify what are the weaknesses that your competitors have, and then we are going to address them when we write our listing. So with that, I hope that is helpful. This is very important as we talk about the next phases. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. And if you need access to this template document, once I get 50 likes and 20 comments, I'm going to add it in the chat. Make sure to hit subscribe, click on the bell icon so that you get all the content that I make. And if you have any requests, feel free to leave them in the comments, or send those over to me in an email. I'll be happy to make content that answers your questions. So until then, signing off, this is Gopal. Have a great day.